welcome back to Play and Trade Guitars. I'm John, that's Zach behind the camera, and this is Play and Trade Guitars, where we play it and trade it. Continuing today with the Player II series for Fender, brand new, and looking at the Stratocaster HSS. That's right, the Strat with a humbucker in bridge position, also known as the Fat Strat. And I'll tell you what, it actually looks a lot like the American Performer Strat, if you ask me, so maybe we'll talk about some similarities and differences. This one comes in at $829. I'll tell you everything you need to know about the Player II HSS Strat. We'll put it on the bench and pull it apart, and then of course we'll plug it in and play it. If you're in the market for any gear, do us a favor, click to buy new gear using our link. You help us make these demos when you buy any new gear using our link, which you can find below. In Europe, you can use our Thomann link as well. We are also giving away an American-made D28 Martin guitar when we hit 100,000 subscribers. To win that guitar, make sure you're subscribed. Hit subscribe, give this video a like, and sign up via Gleam. All that's down below. All right, without further ado, let's take a look at the new HSS Fat Strat in the Player II series. They've got some cool colors in this series, but I'll tell you what, the aesthetic of this polar white with the aged pickup covers and knobs, I think is just so cool. They did a perfect kind of vintage tint to this gloss headstock, and they have these new classic gear kind of vintage style tuners. And like I said, it really does look like the American Performer. And this one is just a solid looking Strat. It's got a satin feel on the back of the neck. Straightforward electronics, so you've got the humbucker and then single, straightforward volume, tone, and then the 5-way blade switch. Let's head to the bench and pull it apart before we plug it in. Looks fantastic. All right, top of the headstock, Fender gold spaghetti logo. These classic gear vintage slot style tuners look fantastic, really completes the look if you ask me. 2024 is the 70th anniversary of the Stratocaster, going all the way back to '54. Satin finish on this maple neck. It's a modern C shape, so it's a little bit slimmer, and they got these beautiful rolled edges, and then you can see the slab rosewood board, which is a standout major upgrade in the series. And they did these upgrades without raising the price of the series, which I really can appreciate. Coming down on the body, this is that polar white that looks fantastic, 3-ply pick guard, single, and then that humbucker in bridge. With this series, you can't split that, so it's just going to be a humbucker. I guess you could mod it if you wanted to have a splittable humbucker, but otherwise you have standard volume, tone, 5-way blade switch, and then the tremolo. They went with kind of a vintage looking 6-saddle tremolo, but it has the 2-point modern design. Let's get the strings out of the way and get some measurements. You got the 70s style F stamped on the plate, which I really like. Spin this around and pop the neck out. Give you a look at that alder body. You can see the raw alder in the neck pocket. We have a 9.5-inch modern radius, so not too flat, not too humped, just kind of the modern Goldilocks, standard kind of modern Fender radius. Adjustable truss rod up at the top of the headstock makes life easy. Let's go ahead and get some measurements. Nut comes in at 1.65 inches. First fret at 0.82 inches. Out to a 12th, 0.87 inches. Older body, classic Strat contours. Body thickness comes in at 1.78 inches thick. Let's flip up this pickguard and take a look under the hood. So check this out, all hand wired. You got a Fender stamped humbucker here, and then the 2 single coils. See that crazy looking blade switch there, and 250K pots. Let me see what they did for the humbucker. All 250K CTS pots. It's also routed for humbucker in neck position if you want to go crazy and put a humbucker there too. Let's flip on the multimeter and get a reading on these pickups. We're at 7.2, kind of PAF style reading in bridge, 7.6 in the single coils, so hotter single coils, and 7.0 in neck. All right, let's lift up the trem cavity cover. I'll give you a look. Nice clean route, 3 springs from the factory, and it came set up floating perfectly from the factory too. Let's get a weight. Exactly 8 pounds. Flipping the guitar around, I love the rolled edges. Feels really nice in the hands. You do notice the satin feel of the neck, the rolled edges, nice piece of rosewood. Yeah, feels great. Remember, if you're in the market for this guitar or any other gear, click to buy using our link. You'll find that pinned in the comments or down in the description. Now comes my favorite part. Let's play the guitar. I'm gonna plug it in, show you clean tones, we'll dirty it up, and we'll let it sing behind a track. On the other side of the playing demos, I'll give you my raw reaction and a final score, so stay tuned and drop a comment as we go. Let's get plugged in, have some fun. All right, the Fat Strat with a humbucker in bridge position gives you a whole new take on the Strat. It's got a lot of power, but it's nicely balanced. You stuck with me to the end. So I'm gonna give you my honest reaction to playing this guitar, along with the final score. I based that score on 3 main categories: overall playability, overall sound, and overall value. At the top, you can check out all the cool colors that they offer. Click our link to see what's in stock. You get free shipping and easy payment plans on any new gear that you buy using our link, so check that out now. And let's talk final score. When it comes to playability, it's been consistent, the experience on Player II. The necks are basically all the same. It's got this modern C, everything measures very similar, and it's the satin feel, it's the rolled edges, it's the rosewood fretboards, where applicable, and they all feel great. They don't get in the way. All the necks are very comfortable, very modern, very playable, no complaints. I'll go ahead and give it a 9.1 on overall playability. When it comes to sound, what I really especially like about this particular HSS setup is how balanced the sound is. And I'm not a scientist when it comes to this, but I can tell you that the readings of these pickups, the output is basically about the same. And what you can find on a Fat Strat with a humbucker, sometimes there's too much output from the humbucker and not enough from the single coils. This is voiced in such a way, I think, very intelligently voiced, so that the volume is very consistent across the whole guitar. And that makes the sounds much more usable. And then when we talk about the sounds, I think the pickups sound great. I've been across the board impressed by all the pickups in the Player II series. They haven't necessarily been upgraded from the Player I series, but I can tell you, just as an all-around solid pickup that sounds like a Strat or sounds like a Tele, these pickups are doing exactly what they're supposed to. And then you get the extra punch from the humbucker in this edition, which sounds fantastic. I'll go ahead and give it a 9.3 on overall sound. And then when it comes to value, at $829, it's an extra $30 to get the HSS instead of the single coils. But I think it's worth it. It gives you the versatility if that's what you're after. And that humbucker just gives you an extra punch in bridge that can't be denied. It doesn't come with a gig bag or a case. Remember to get yourself a case. Take care of this. But let's talk value from the standpoint of what I said earlier. It looks like the American Performer, which is $14.99, and that's a beautiful guitar. It's made in America, Corona, California, right? This is not, this is made in Mexico, but it's roughly, close to half the price. And I will tell you that from a solid, straightforward, no-nonsense Stratocaster, this is a modern Strat that delivers and gets a very high score on value. To step up to something like the American Performer, you get a few extra bells and whistles, maybe better components. It's made in America, all this. And there is a coil split too on the humbucker, which is not found here. But all that to say, I think at $829, compared to American Performer, solid guitar too, but this, you've got to admit, is a serious value and it looks phenomenal. I'll go ahead and give it a 9.2 on overall value. We've been consistently scoring this whole series near probably the low 9s, and this one is doing pretty dang well at an overall score of 9.2 for the HSS Strat. So remember, if you're gonna buy this guitar or any other gear, you can check out the rest of our demos too. Click to buy that new gear using our link. It's how we make these videos when you buy new gear. When you use our link, you get fast free shipping and super easy payment plans. Those payment plans makes buying new gear super easy. Europe, you can use our Toman link. Thanks for hanging out. Drop a comment. I'd love to hear what you think about this guitar and the series in general. Which guitar will you buy next? Let me know in the comments. Hit subscribe now if you haven't. Turn on notifications and enter via Gleam to win that beautiful American Martin guitar when we hit 100,000 subscribers. For Plain Trade Guitars, I'm John. That's Zach behind the camera. See you next time. Thanks for hanging out.